Let's see, what's going on in XDefiant today? Oh, yeah. Um, Ubisoft. Uh, Mark Rubin. You know, you see these little class names here? Please. Please. Just these two weapons. Just these two. Just, just this one. And this one, I don't even have it unlocked yet, but y'all just want to go ahead and nerf them both? I'm not going to complain, because I'm kind of tired of getting melted across the map by an ACR like a fucking tank cannon. And then I'm tired of getting killed by the MP7 because it's like the strongest SMG in the game for some reason. Like, why does it fire faster than the MP5? It does more damage than the MP5 too. The only thing I'm supposed to beating is a fucking vector, but this thing is just significantly better in like all stats areas compared. Just, if it's gonna fire that fast, you would think like, okay, it fires really fast, but it shoots a smaller caliber, so it should have a lower damage output. But no. Or the ACR. Like, the ACR, I can give, like, a benefit of that. Okay, it's kind of slow firing, but the damage output is fucking insane compared to every other AR in the fucking game, and it hurts my head a little bit. But hi, it's Coreboy. I'm here again today. And today, we're actually going to talk a little bit more about XDefiant, because there's a lot to talk about, and there's some other gaming shit to talk about as well. But a lot of XDefiant forward stuff that I do want to talk about. Some stuff that involves how this game can evolve. Like, what can we add to XDefiant to make it a better experience? What are things that can change? And trust me, there's a lot. This game just got released. There's a lot of work going into it, as it seems, at least from what I'm seeing from at least the team and what they're talking about when it comes to updates they have planned, things they want to change, things they want to fix, things that are going to be added to the game whenever we get Season 1, which is coming up in, I think, 40 days or 39. There's a lot going on here with XDefiant. Of course, also this weekend there is double weapon XP all weekend until Tuesday, I think. So get your fucking grinding and get it done. Get some weapons to bronze or gold, whatever you're going for. My main goal right now is to get every weapon to level 50 just to get bronze, and then kind of just backtrack and work on most of the weapons that I want to work on first. And then once I get fucking bored, I'm probably just going to do them all and get them all to 100 just because why not? Just doing the normal grinding stuff that I like to do. Also trying to get to level 100 on my main account, like right here. Well, my only account. I don't do alt accounts. But yeah, trying to get rank 100 there just to get max rank, just grinding it out like normal. But also today, we're not going to be playing XDefiant all day. We're going to be playing some Halo as well, so be on the lookout for that. So yeah. But today, talking about things that we can use to fix XDefiant. What are things that can be changed? What are things that can be improved on? And there's quite a bit. I mean, at the beginning, I had a little bit of, please, for the love of God, nerf the ACR and the MP7. Personally, I think those two weapons are broken out the fucking ass. If you're somebody who's using metas and you actually care about that whole thing, which I don't. But it's kind of clear and cut that the two best weapons in the game right now are both the MP7 and the ACR, depending on what you're, like, running for. If you're running ARs, you probably want to be running the ACR. If you're running a SMG build, you definitely want the MP7. Personally, I'm kind of just running in order. I started on the MP5 the day the game released, and I've just been working on it ever since. I did have to miss a day, unfortunately, because I was really fucking sick, which upset me, because I probably would have already been on to my next weapon. But, hey, it's cool. We're also just nearing the end of this MP5, going to getting it to level 50, and then I think we're going to do the MDR next, which is the new AR, because I've just been really wanting to use it and actually get some levels on it. I've actually really enjoyed using it. The little bit that I have, it feels really consistent. But I'm using it more, working on a build for it. I'm also going to show my MP7 build or my MP5 build at the end of this video, because I think I have found damn near the perfect one. And personally, I'm a big fan of it. It fires really fast, has really good control. So if you're looking for an MP5 build, something to use, if you're wanting to switch away from the meta, or just use something different, or you're trying to do every single weapon like I am, I'm going to show you something, show you all how to possibly make the MP5 a little bit more effective. I will say this does involve you having every single attachment unlocked, but I'm going to show some like kind of workarounds you can do with it, of things that I've been using prior to me hitting level, I think it's 42 on the weapon, is whenever you unlock every single attachment for it. So I'm definitely going to be showing all that off as well. Just some like workarounds, things that you can throw on it. I will say a lot of my builds are geared around speed, because I do play a very aggressive play style, and that's just how I've always played personally. So if you don't play like that, definitely wouldn't recommend using my builds, but if you are looking to change up your playstyle, play a little bit faster, get into actual more gunfights, and engage more often, then I do recommend it. Because the thing is super effective. There's definitely a couple other things you can change on it too, and depending on like how you like the weapon to perform. Personally, I went with a more like rate of fire kind of style, just something that I can go in, spray out a room, get it cleared really quickly, and then also some weapon like some definitely like attachments you can interchange. For example, I run the fast mag, which personally I like a little bit more than the extended mag. I think the extended mag has a lot of drawbacks compared to the fast mag and also even the quick mag. I just think it has a lot of drawbacks that personally make it not as effective. Also, this is just not a great map to show this off on either because this map is pretty fucking big and this doesn't really allow me to use this MP5 a lot more effectively than like what I usually do. Just because there's a lot of long-ass hallways and people are usually sitting on them quite heavily. Boop, we're just gonna go ahead and pop it. We're gonna get this out of, and sitting in the corner with a fucking shotgun. Love that for me. Okay, cool. We went to this side of the map. That fucking spot ice is the one that I do not like on this map. People just sit in those long-ass hallways with fucking AKs and shit and just spray down them. To the point where it does get a little bit fucking ridiculous. I didn't need to reload there, and that was a bad spot, but it's cool. I got this good spawn right here. I can maybe flash him out of there. Oh, I did. Sick. Let's go. I'm gonna fucking flank back then. So yeah, right there kind of tells me one of the first things that we need to talk about with this game, because holy shit, is it a problem? And I've seen a lot of people talk about it. There's definitely ways you can kind of fix it a little bit. But the netcode in this game is sometimes extremely fucky. I was actually playing a game earlier on the map Showdown specifically, which is like the movie set, like Western kind of looking map. And the main thing I kept noticing while we were playing that map was like I was legit getting shot through entire buildings. Like I would go behind cover when I'd get shot at, and I would already be behind the wall where like you definitely can't fucking shoot through unless the gun has the craziest penetration of any weapon ever designed. But I was just getting shot through like literal buildings, which proves to me that desync is an issue in this game, which it is. It's an issue in most games too that have like dedicated servers, just because like the connection's a little bit more spaced out, so it's harder to like keep up with that. I would assume would be the main thing. But you'll notice a lot of times you were dying getting shot around corners after you've already popped cover, which was an issue in the main game that I play, if you guys have been around for a while, which is Halo. I know they said they are targeting that and trying to fix it whenever Season 1 comes out, which is great. Like, I'm happy they're actually focused on trying to fix that, because it does get very, very irritating. It also gets really weird, too, whenever, like, you'll slide past somebody, clearly behind them, they won't be looking at you directly, and they're still hitting every fucking shot on you, like, possible. Like, it does definitely become a bit irritating, and you're like, why the fuck am I still getting shot despite me being behind all this fucking cover? Or, like, this person just not even staring at me. Another thing that's also very annoying is getting hit markers in this game, but also dealing no damage is something that I've noticed consistently, especially with sniper rifles. Like, for example, like most of the times, like I said, I'm playing games like Halo, because Halo's been like my main grind for quite a while, and also just my main content that I do here. But a big thing with Halo is like if you're sniping, for example, and two of you shoot each other at the same time, especially if it's headshots, you're going to get a trade. You're not going to get like one person's going to deal damage over the other and then one of you is going to die but the other one's not. But this game has an issue where, like, you'll land a shot with a sniper rifle, and then somebody will also land one on you at the same time, but yours won't deal damage, but theirs will. But you'll still get a hit marker. Like, you'll die, but they'll still be up. But get a hit marker, but then in the actual, like, kill, like, little cam thing they have as well, it'll just say 100 health or 120 health if they're playing Phantoms. And it's very fucking irritating, because I'm like, okay, do I give a call out to my teammates and let them, like, say that I hit them, but it may have not registered, so I didn't hit them? Or like, what do I do in this situation in order to, like, be resourceful? It makes it very fucking difficult, and I'm not 100% sure if I even deal damage or not, because it says I don't, but I got a hit marker. Can we, like, please fix that to where, like, if I'm getting a hit marker, I'm dealing damage? That could be an issue, yet again, with the netcode, which I said is something they are saying they're going to be fixing here, hopefully leading up to Season 1. We just don't know yet how well that's going to go and how well it's going to work, because, I mean, that's a huge fucking overhaul. Like, netcodes are literally what keeps us all connected at all times whenever we are playing, so it's definitely something that may take some fucking time to fix, but I don't know yet. It just depends on what we get when Season 1 comes out. But it is something that I hope does get fixed, because Season 1 looks pretty damn promising. It looks very big compared to a lot of other games. I mean, getting 3 weapons, 3 maps, a new mode as it seems, and then also a new faction as well, which sounds kind of crazy. I'm also really excited to see what factions we get coming from other Ubisoft games. I know some people have been saying, like, oh, we're going to get an Assassin's Creed one, or we're going to get a Rainbow Six one, and personally, listen, I'm going to be real. I'm not a fan of Siege by any means. Like, Siege is just not my kind of game. But if we get one for those games, can we please get one for like Six Vegas? Like, give me Bishop or some shit. That'd be cool. I highly doubt it'll probably be Siege, but it would still be really cool to see like that kind of shit come back. But listen, if we're getting a lot of shit with these fucking updates, and honestly, I'm all here for it. I'm happy that we're getting that kind of content in this game because it does definitely add to the game's lifespan and it just gives you shit to do. But I do hope they fix the root issues that are going on in the game right now. Like I said, the net code is definitely one of them. Some of the weapon balancing really does need to be fine-tuned, especially on the ACR and the MP7. If you're kind of noticing, one big thing about this game, and I've mentioned in my other videos, is that SBMM is not prominent, but when you get into those really sweat lobbies, you will notice two weapons consistently being used over all other weapons in this game. And that is the MP7 and the ACR. The MP7 is just fucking crazy as a SMG. It does so much fucking damage, and for how fast it fires, it just adds upon that. And it like basically outguns every SMG in the game. If you're using the MP5, the P90, or the Vector, you're going to notice how significantly better the MP7 is. And then when it comes to the ACR, you'll just notice how much better it is than every fucking AR in the game. It has basically no recoil. It deals, I think, 30 per hit, which is insane. Has a pretty decent fire rate. It fires a little bit slower than the other ARs, but that kind of, you know, helps with masking the low rate of fire with, like, the damage. So, listen, it's fucking insane. And when you get into those, like, really sweaty lobbies, you will notice that is damn near all you're getting killed by. I actually had that happen in a game not too long ago where I was like, holy shit, I'm only getting killed by 2 weapons. I think the shotguns are pretty much in an okay state. I mean, there's definitely people who run them quite a bit, and they can get annoying, but they don't feel super overpowered or anything, or like they're the only weapon that people are using when it compared to at least the other ones that I mentioned. It just they just seem a little bit fucking overdone. Also, I'm just saying, if we're getting 3 new weapons every season, it seems like that, at least from what we've seen in the roadmap so far. I do hope we get some new snipers. I would like to see some new ones as well. Maybe a middle ground between the M44 and the TAC 50, which I do like both of those snipers, but I hope we get something that's a little bit more, what I would call ballista style from like Black Ops 2, where it deals a decent amount of damage and you're not getting as many hit markers like you would with the M44, but it's faster than the TAC 50. That was a terrible cough moment. Why? Like, in the middle of talking too? I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. But overall, like, I would like to see more sniper rifles put into this game. Also, you know, maybe add some diversity into some of the other classes as well. I'd like to see a single shot rifle, like a actual AR. I also wouldn't mind seeing like a burst SMG as well. I think that would be really fun to see in this game. Also, fuck it, I know we have the AA-12 in here, but give us a semi-auto shotty, or give us some unique fucking LMG, something that we haven't seen in any other games. Maybe like an SMG that's a little bit more of like a faster, kind of more like almost an AR, but still fits into the LMG category. I wouldn't mind that as well. There's like definitely a lot of stuff that they can do with this game. A lot of stuff they can add and shit. Even stuff that like they could kind of bring back from like COD, because if you guys don't know, the dev team that is behind XDefiant is the same team that was mostly behind the original Modern Warfare series, which is personally my favorite era of COD. My COD 4, the OG Modern Warfare 2, and OG Modern Warfare 3 are quite possibly, if not 3 of my all-time favorite FPS titles, especially when it comes to the arcadey FPS titles. And I hope we get to see some really cool weapons. I hope we get to see them like kind of go back and add some shit from that era. Another thing I wouldn't mind seeing, I know that like each class kind of has their own respective like perks and abilities. Hear me out. I wouldn't even mind seeing the abilities being something kind of like perks, like where there's like, let's like look at here at the faction abilities, like having these 3 right here. Like you have like your activated abilities and then your passive traits, or even like your ultras. Have these to where you can kind of interchange them out with different things from these games. I would be totally okay with that. I would actually really like to see that. Also, wouldn't mind seeing more equipment put into the game. I know there's a couple. There's like the sticky grenades, proxmons, frags, flashbangs, and EMPs. I wouldn't mind seeing that also a bit more like enlightened upon. Maybe adding things like, I'm going to actually say this and I'm going to hate myself for saying it, like C4, or even something like a stim shot to a degree for characters that don't have like a healing ability, or something that could like increase like the speed of which your character moves, like a stim shot. Maybe does not have the healing ability, but have like the ability to move faster around the map and shit. I think that'd be really cool. Just needs to kind of improve how the game plays, but also add different play style abilities, and just see how that goes. I know that'll definitely like add some areas of where things need to be more like tweaked out and kind of more fine-tuned. but I would really like to see it in a game like this where they can really expand upon how not only like each individual faction plays, but each individual character plays. I think that'd be really cool. That is one thing I was really hoping with like the characters, is that they would all have kind of unique traits and unique abilities, compared to just being like different skins for each faction. I think that'd be really cool to see in this game. And also, there's definitely some game mode changes I would like to see as well. Maybe like a traditional TDM mode. I know they said that they're going to be adding a mode that's like S&D in the future, which does get me really, really excited. Also, this may be one that people may disagree with, but it's one that like I always think of whenever I think back to the original fucking, like some of the later COD titles that I really enjoyed, like, for example, Advanced Warfare and Black Ops 3. There was a unique mode in those games called Uplink that I would honestly love to see a team kind of try to bring back to some degree. If you guys remember Uplink from back in those times, it was a mode where there was a ball that would spawn on the middle of the map. There was 2 goals on each side. It was basically basketball, but in COD. And I would love to see a mode like that come back to a degree where there's like an objective in the middle and you're trying to bring it to your side of the map, while the other team is also trying to do that same thing. Rather, it's getting the ball off of you and defending, or being really offensive and actually trying to get the score in on your side. I would love to see something like that. I think it'd be super fun. I do think there also needs to be some tweaks for the other like longer modes, like for example, Escort and Zone Control, I think is what it's called. Honestly, the biggest complaint about those modes is, one, they feel super fucking campy and just super drawn out when they don't need to be. But okay, see, right there's the ACR doing the ACR thing. It's fucking melting me while I have a fucking healing buff on. Like, why? No other gun does that. It's fucking insane, and it's very irritating. But I think another thing that needs to be fixed in those modes is, like, the spawn timers for defense side, which is super fucking irritating. Like, I hate whenever I get into a fight with somebody, I die, and then I gotta wait 5.5 seconds to spawn in. It just takes so fucking long, and it makes that mode drag on so fucking much. And also, like I said, it just plays super campy. If, like, somebody's sitting in one side of the map, you're just not gonna fucking get there. Can you stop it? Can you stop it? Please, can you stop? Can you stop? But I do think there definitely needs to be some fixes in those modes, because it definitely does add a bit of irritation to them. It just makes them just not fun to fucking play. I mean, I've completely taken them out of my rotation. I actually did enjoy Escort a bit in the beta, but there is the issue of, like, people just don't even want to finish the mode out. If, like, you get a team that's just full of, like, really slow-ass players, like, you're just going to deal with a lobby of people just fucking leaving, so it's not even worth it to play them out. Like, at least here, if I'm fucking losing, I can just drop a bunch of kills and not give a shit. In the other modes, you just can't really do that effectively. It becomes very irritating, and it becomes like one of those things where it's like, holy shit, this is taking too long. I just don't want to even finish this out, because I'm not getting any gain off of it, and I'm playing this match for fucking 10 to 15 minutes. It's completely pointless. Like, right here I'm losing. I don't really fucking care, because I know this match isn't going to last that fucking long, and I can probably get at least like a couple of weapon levels off this, maybe like 1 or 2, despite this being a bit of a bigger map, and not really what I prefer for using a fucking SMG, but hey, you know, it's whatever. It's cool. Nope, you're dead. Also, I definitely do think if we're going to be having a ranked mode in this game, I do think some of these fucking factions need to be tuned down a little bit. Because there are times where I'm like, holy shit, this faction absolutely melts the other ones. Like, for example, the Cleaners and their ability with the, the incendiary rounds is fucking crazy. And in a ranked playlist, if you're playing like that, it needs to be tuned down a bit. I also think that they need to extend the timers on the move as well. I haven't really played the ranked mode much, so maybe that is already a thing that's in effect. And also maybe this could be crazy, but I think another thing with the Cleaners as well in ranked, maybe instead of having every bullet be these incendiary rounds where they can just absolutely fucking melt you with them, maybe add it as like a thing where like every couple of seconds you'll get like a mag that's filled with them. Maybe something that's not constantly in use, but it's kind of like passively in use. You know what I mean? Because if that's a passive trait, that shouldn't be a passive trait. Like, I feel like whenever you say something is a passive trait, it's an effect that's not directly geared towards, like, defense or offense. It's, like, kind of helps you, like, get out of certain situations or add something to your gameplay that can help you, you know, like, fucking, like, I think the best example I can use of, like, a passive trait is like Bangalore from fucking Apex Legends, where if somebody's shooting at her and the bullets are missing, it increases how fast she runs. That's what I think of when I see a passive trait, not, hey, you're dealing extra damage no matter what. Like, maybe like, oh, you have this much health left, you can deal this much damage, I think that may help a bit, but it's not entirely sure. It just may. But I definitely think there needs to be some tweaks when it comes to these passive abilities, because them being constant is a little bit weird. I think there should be something that appears during certain situations in the mode, instead of being something that's just constantly active and something that is readily available at all fucking times, no matter what is going on or the situation if in a fight. It's a little bit weird to see, especially in a game like this where you're constantly getting into gunfights and like constantly pushing onto objectives, and then like you'll kind of notice how broken some of them are as you're playing. Like I know a lot of people, at least in my friend group, have been complaining about the incendiary rounds. Like they'll get into a fight and then they'll be like, okay, I won the gunfight, and then just die from being on fire, and they'll be like, okay, why the fuck did I, like, okay, I got the kill, but then they're still going to get a kill on top of it. I mean, I get it, because like, fuck it, I've been running cleaners too, because in that situation, especially on like small maps, it is extremely useful. Like on maps like Arena, where you're constantly in fights, I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna run cleaner this game and get a bunch of fucking kills, because I know I will. If I dish out enough damage somewhere, the fire bullets are just gonna do the rest, even if I fucking die. Like, it's whatever. So I think that is something that definitely needs to be looked at and kind of fixed. Also, fucking ACR again thing melted to be faster than a fucking ice cream cone out on a hot day. It's so fucking irritating. I hate this shit. Like, genuinely, as soon as somebody breaks out the ACR, I'm like, oh, cool, I'm not gonna have a fun game, because I'm just gonna get mapped every fucking fight I get in. Like, nerf it, please. Just nerf the fucking thing already. It's not gonna hurt anybody. No one's gonna get mad. Also, this may be a crazy one, because I know I've seen a couple people asking about it, at least in my friend group and people who popped into chat and stuff, is I wouldn't mind seeing prone be in this game. I know there's, like, crouch and slide, but also proning is, kind of something that plays well in games like this, especially when it comes to people who are... I just bounced that fucking flashbang off the goddamn plane. That's awesome. But especially in games like where you have things like proximity mines and shit like that, it just adds a way to avoid them more effectively. Now, of course, proning does get irritating whenever, like, you're dealing with somebody who's just sitting in a fucking corner camping. But, like, you know, just give me proning. I wouldn't be mad about it. It also helps a lot in gunfights. Whenever you're taking on a bunch of people, you can get, like, prone around a corner, and they may not be expecting you there. Like, there's certain ways that stuff actually comes into, like, really core gameplay aspects that can actually help how a game flows and can definitely help you as a player. Now, of course, there's definitely negative drawbacks. Like I said, people just abusing it and camping in fucking corners while prone is very irritating. But there's definitely some positives of it as well. And maybe those are things that they'll add at some point. Maybe they won't. Like, I'm not really heavily complaining about that. I just wouldn't mind seeing it to, like, overall, like, help the flow of this game. To help how it feels whenever you are playing. I just think it can be an overall net positive. And I think other than that, there's really not a lot else I'd like to see. Of course, we'll talk more about this later on in the game's life cycle, especially when we get Season 1, with, like, all the new maps, the new weapons, the balancing changes they're more than likely going to add. My main complaints right now are literally just the ACR and the MP7, because goddamn are they fucking irritating. Like, right there, like, dog, like, how? I got first shot off, I should have won that fight, at least against that guy. I didn't expect to win the second one, but against that person, and the fact that they were able just to fucking flick on and hit me with an ACR twice and fucking end my shit is ridiculous. Like, the fact that it even outguns a weapon that's, like, harder to use, like the AK, is a little bit insane to me, because you would think the AK would deal more damage because it's a little bit harder to use. It has that recoil pattern of an AK. It's a little bit more sporadic. But this thing has legit no fucking recoil, basically, and it is almost like a 3 to 4 tap on every single character with a crazy headshot multiplier. It's just fucking insane, and it feels super fucking broken in this game. It's a little bit weird, it's a bit irritating, but it is something I do hope that we see gets changed in the later updates we are getting with this game, especially with Season 1 coming around. Also, I don't know why every time I open OBS, it fucking slows the games down FPS to, like, 2. But that is something I think we'll see later, and hopefully something that gets fixed, because I would be very happy to see that. But other than that, though, guys, I'm going to hop out of here for today. I will catch you all at stream today. We're going to be starting out XDefiant and then going over to Halo to play some Ranked. And I will see you later.